Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video. Again, I'm going to be creating with the book from Nina from A Paper Whimsy on Instagram called A Dreamy Canvas. I'm just loving the images in this book. So again, I'm just going to share another really quick, easy page using these ready-made collage images. So I'm starting off with Iris. Popping it on the page. There is no gesso on my page at all. I'm just going straight in with some paint. Isn't this Iris such a dreamy colour? It's so lovely. As you can see, it's kind of getting to the bottom. I've nearly run out, so I'm just sticking my brush in. This would be like the stage before I cut the top off and then get the rest of the paint out the bottom. So I'm trying to make sure I use every scrap because it's one of my favourite colours. I absolutely love it. So my image is going to be stuck over to the kind of left of the page, so I'm not going to add paint mostly where that image is going to be. I'm just going to kind of add the paint as a frame around the edge because there's no point popping it in the middle. It's going to mostly disappear. So next I'm going to use raspberry, another one of my favourite colours, and I'm going to do a bit of reductive stenciling using my floating stencil from Funky Fossil. Popping the paint straight on so my layer underneath is nice and dry. Add the paint over the top in a decent layer, and while it's still wet, go in with a baby wipe which isn't too wet or a damp cloth and lift the paint through the stencil and you get a really cool effect. Brilliant. I'm going to do that in 3 areas. I like to work in 3s in odd numbers, 1s, 3s, 5s. Keep it odd because then it kind of just like your eye likes to look at those odd numbers. It feels balanced and for me it works. So I'm doing the same process here. This works really nicely because even though the page isn't gessoed, that paint where I'm adding the lilac that it's over, Iris, I mean, is kind of acting like a gesso layer on the paper, so it's protecting that paper while I'm lifting the paint through. Okay, so then that gets dried. Then I'm going in with blackberry and I'm going to repeat the same process. I'm going to add a little bit of colour, spread the paint out, and while it's wet, lift it through the stencil. So now I'm thinking about introducing some contrast onto my page. The image I'm going to be using has got lots of white in it, so I'm just bringing a bit of white onto the background that I'm creating. I quite often create my backgrounds using just stencils and paint. I think the look that I like to get with them, you can create that really layered look, and then you can come in with your stamping and add your text and other interesting elements after. I think this is something that I often do without realising. I think just the collage for me, I tend to forget about it and just get so excited about going in with the paints and the stencils. So I've now added those bits of white contrast onto my page. I'm now going to go and stick this image in. I'm just using a glue stick, as you can see. Nice and easy, putting plenty of glue on just to make sure it's going to stick down really nicely. I also quite often just kind of roll over with a brayer once I've stuck it onto my page just to get rid of any air bubbles as well. Yeah, I think there might be enough glue on there, hey. Right, so you can see that I've grounded my figure at the bottom of my page, so she's not floating in the air. And here I'm just adding some white dots, so using my dotty stamp and a bit of Posca pen that's onto my desk. and just dipping it in nice and easy. Going in with a large Posca pen, adding some bigger dots. I like to have a variety in the kind of different sizes and colours of mark making that I add onto my pages. But you can see how easy it was to bring this together. I've also added some stamping on. I think that circle stamp is one of Kate Crane's that she's released recently, can't speak. And then sometimes I will go in and add some little doodle marks on, outline bits, add the white of the eye in a bit whiter. Yeah, just play really. Add some eyelashes onto her little eyes. Yeah, really simple. So finding a designer whose work you really, really like means you've got, you know, when you just have those moments where you want to play but you don't really know what you're going to do. This makes it so easy. Okay, so now time for my words. You know, as I always say, if you're not confident with your own writing, use an alphabet stamp set or type it up, cut it out, stick it on, or use a sticky quote. There are so many ways you can get that text on your page. But as with anything, if you want to improve, then you need to practice. There are lots of ways that you can make getting your writing onto your pages so much better. Don't be afraid to try, is what I would say. I thought this girl had a kind of sassy attitude to her. I loved that way she was kind of looking with her arms folded. So this quote, "It's okay if you don't like me, not everyone has good taste." Yeah, we're not all everybody's cup of tea, are we? And that's okay. So this was super easy to create. I'll leave a link to Nina's book in the description below. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope to see you again soon.